today's show, I'm going to go through 5 burning questions that I have for the New Orleans Saints that they need to answer this season. Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. I hope y'all are having a wonderful weekend. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in to today's program. We're just going to go ahead and start things off with burning question number 1. Can Tyler Shough take control as the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints? And when I say take control, I'm going to explain my case here in just a second. But before we do, I have a challenge for the Golden Gang. The most likes we've received on a video in 2025 is 767. Today's goal, I want to get 800. Let's beat the record, let's smash some goals, and let's set some new milestones. Like the video to help me out, and also so that way YouTube knows to push more content from us your direction. Let's talk about Tyler Shough, because the big question, is he the guy? Obviously, the New Orleans Saints spent the 40th overall selection in round 2 of the 2025 NFL Draft on the Louisville quarterback. Had experience at Oregon, Texas Tech, and the Louisville Cardinals, and now he takes all of that experience, the injury history, all of that to the New Orleans Saints, and he was the highest quarterback drafted by the Black and Gold since Archie Manning all the way back in 1971, which is a long, long time. He's currently competing with Spencer Rattler to be the starting quarterback, and for what it's worth, I know that there is an open competition, and Kellen Moore is going to continue to say it's an open competition, but I personally believe that this is Kellen Moore's handpicked player, and that's the guy who's ultimately going to be the starting quarterback. And he's been impressive at OTA so far. He's been slinging the rock all over the yard, and he has been able to show off some of the talents and strengths that he, was able to win over Kellen Moore and the Saints coaching staff with. So for what it's worth, I think that this is a player with high expectations, with high hopes, and I personally believe that he is the guy that needs to take over as the starting quarterback. But either way, whether it's Spencer Rattler, whether it's Tyler Shough, hell, Hunter Deckers, or Jake Haener, I don't care who it is. I don't care about the last names on the jersey. The helmet, the logos on the side, that's what I care about. I don't care about the player. I care about – not that I don't care about the players. I don't necessarily care as much about who's the quarterback. I more care about whether or not they're playing well. And I just need somebody to step up. It can be any of the guys that's currently on the roster. I just want somebody to step up and take control of this team. And I asked the question, the burning question is, can Tyler Shough take control? I think that there is more pressure on Tyler Shough to take control of this roster. And by take control, what I specifically mean is I mean that he has to show off his leadership skills. He has to show that he is the guy. He has to separate himself from Spencer Rattler, not just as the player, but also as the human being and as the leader of the football team, the offense, and everything in between. And also the fact that he was drafted in round 2. I don't believe that there's no significance there. There's clearly pressure, and he is the highest quarterback drafted by the Saints since the 70s. So that's a lot of pressure to walk around with a lot of weight on your shoulders. But at the end of the day, we got to see if Tyler Shough can be the guy. And for what it's worth, maybe rookie year we see it, but I also think it might take a few weeks for him to at least really get firing on all cylinders. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that's the case. Burning question, numero dos. Was Kellen Moore a good hire? And kind of, follow-up question, can he and his coaching staff build a strong foundation? I think the answer is yes here. I personally believe that this is a good decision for the New Orleans Saints. This was a good hire. They waited and waited and waited. They missed out on Mike McCarthy. They missed out on Aaron Glenn. Missed out on Joe Brady. They didn't hire those guys, and they landed the Super Bowl offensive coordinator who just is fresh off of a win in the Superdome for the big game, and they made him the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. I think it's an excellent hire. He's quickly climbed the coaching rankings in the National Football League, and I also would be remiss if I didn't say this. Year 1 will have its ups and downs. There will be great moments, but there will also be a lot of what in the hell is going on moments. A lot of head scratchers will happen throughout the season, and that's okay. For what it's worth, I want you to understand it's okay. This is the first year with a first-year head coach with a rookie quarterback or a second-year quarterback who has not won a game in the National Football League. So there's a lot of ups and downs that will happen over the course of the season. And so what's important to me isn't the ups and downs. It's Are we building the foundation for success? And when I'm talking about the foundation for success, there's a lot of things that the New Orleans Saints need to fix. And honestly, you aren't going to nail all of these in one offseason or one season. Or you're not even going to nail it all a year from now. It's going to take some time. You got to fix the culture. Because right now it feels like the New Orleans Saints are just a cultureless team. There's not a lot of swagger. There's not an identity. There's not really anything that separates the New Orleans Saints from the rest of the NFL that gives them a defining identity. Like there's just no defining thing or qualities about the Saints offense right now or the defense for what it's worth. The play calling also needs to be fixed. And I think that is an easy fix that has already been improved. Based off of last year's coaching staff to this year's coaching staff, I think just entirely that is a thing to fix. So for what it's worth, I think they're already doing these things right here. You're seeing the team go out in the community and do some work. You're seeing them do team building activities, them playing paintball, and you see the coaches and the staff and all of the players involved in having fun with it. So the other thing they need to fix is just the preparation and execution. And this is kind of a domino effect. If you get the preparation and the execution figured out, it's because the play calling and the coaching is better. And normally that is a result of a better culture, or at least leads to a better culture. And for what it's worth, I also think the salary cap, they've done a good job of managing it in terms of trying to clear up some of the money, but they still have to do that. They have to complete the roster, and by doing that, they'll be able to fix the salary cap, get younger, start hitting on draft picks. You got to also let time pass to relieve yourself of some of those older, expensive veteran contracts as well. So there's just a lot more as well to fix for the New Orleans Saints, but the thing for me that I want to see is that they start taking the steps in the right direction for sustained success. Can they build the foundation to create a dynasty, if you will? That's the dream, obviously, of any NFL team, is to have a dynasty. But the real thing is I want to see them just start from scratch. That's kind of where they're at, and continue to just improve and improve and improve and improve just a little bit each week. Just knock off a little bit each week and just continue to grow, continue to develop. Because like I said, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. But all in all, I think that you just got to fix a handful of these things, and the rest of it just kind of naturally follows suit. Burning question number 3 for me. Can Chris Olave stay healthy? And can he establish himself as a true wide receiver 1? I personally believe the answer to this is yes. But I think it's fair to say that you could ask for more from Chris Olave, and it's not necessarily a result of his play. It's more of a result of the lack of scheming plays up and lack of appealing to the strengths of this player, and bad play calling and bad decision making coming from Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael and Clint Kubiak. And so for what it's worth, I just want to let you know, I talked to Chris Olave before we filmed this video, and he said every subscriber we get on this video, he's going to go ahead and get 10 yards. So you want him to have 1,000 yards, 100 subs? Feels like a pretty easy fix. That's good math right there. We need 100 subs and Chris Olave has 1,000 yards. I mean, it's coming from him directly. What do you want me to do? It's coming from number 12 himself. Speaking of number 12, the production for this player has been pretty good. And, I do believe, like I said, this is a guy who can be a wide receiver 1 because of the qualities he has, being a really good pass catcher, a great route runner, very underrated speed element. He's also a player who has insane body control, but the big thing for him is staying healthy. He's got to be on the field. You got to stop sending this guy over the middle, or he's going to be taking hits and getting concussions. You have to prioritize your health. You have to take care of these young players especially. And look, I think that Chris Olave needs the opportunity to show what he's got. We haven't even seen what he's got. I feel like we've seen the tip of the iceberg with Chris Olave. Let's scheme plays up for him. Get the game plan to revolve around number 12. He will be a key part of this offense. Kellen Moore has said on multiple occasions that he has had a big impact, and he's going to continue to have a big impact. Oh, and as for those trade rumors, by the way, wanted to just make sure you guys understood. Would not worry about that. Kellen Moore is saying you should not worry about Chris Olave trade rumors. He ain't going anywhere. And that echoes exactly what we've been saying this entire time around Chris Olave. If you get a trade, first of all, a trade offer must be absolutely insane for you to even consider it, but you shouldn't even think about it. And look, the whole thing with Chris Olave, just stay healthy. I just want him to stay healthy. I want to see him play in 17 games. I want to see him play in 15 games. For the love of God, can we see him play in more than half the season? I just want to see this player stay on the field. He's so damn talented. He's so damn good. We've seen it. We've seen what he can do. And I don't even think we've seen it at a full level yet. But we know how special this guy is. He just needs opportunities, and he just needs the chance. So for that reason, I want to see Chris Olave healthy, and I want to see him prove himself to be the wide receiver 1. He's already a 1,000-yard guy. If he can stay on the field, see him do it, and let's see him take over and be that dominant force that the New Orleans Saints are missing right now. Burning question number 4, can New Orleans win in the trenches? Not just offensively, but defensively as well. The weakness in terms of how well the trench play has been, it needs to become a strength. It's been abysmal. The Saints, in terms of the offensive line last year, they were terrible. The running offense wasn't good. The running offense was fine because Alvin Kamara is a freaking dog, but that wasn't even all that good. The passing offense was abysmal. You had a lot of injuries happen, so stay healthy. First of all, stay healthy. And you also just need to have better production from some of these guys on the field. Now, for what it's worth, I want to just kind of hear me out. Remember, Trevor Penning was not a guard last year. He was the right tackle. So that 60.2, it was on the far right side of the line. Tyler Shough was a left tackle. Kelvin Banks obviously was a Texas Longhorn. And for the left guard position, it was like a rotation of Sal DeVary, Lucas Patrick, and some other guys. Eric McCoy, one of the best centers in the league when he's available. Cesar Ruiz, I want to see him continue to shape up and continue to develop. And quite frankly, I want to see him just put it all together and be a consistently good guard. And in my opinion, I do believe Trevor Penning could be the last piece of the puzzle. Like that offensive line there, it's pretty solid just as it is right now. If Trevor Penning can be a good guard, I am much more confident about this offensive line. And if the offensive line plays better, then the offense plays better as a whole. The quarterback has more time to throw the football, which means he has more time to get the ball to one of your receivers, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Bub Means, whoever it is. That also means that the receiver has more time to get open. That also means that the running back has better running lanes. That also means everyone's life is just a lot easier because the defense has time to rest. So for what it's worth, good news. Trevor Penning believes that the things he's doing well, it actually suits better at the guard position rather than tackle, and he's happy. And he was pumped and he was excited when the coaches asked him to switch from outside to inside. I think that's awesome. I think it's a good attitude to have, especially for a player like Trevor Penning who just needs to find a way to get on the field and consistently be good. That's the big thing with Trevor Penning. I want to see him become the last piece of the puzzle because if he can work out at guard, we're actually set up really, really well at the offensive line position. Now, defensive line, that's also part of the trenches here. They had 39 sacks last year. That was tied for 18th in the league. I understand that's could be worse. I also understand that it could be much better. Got to find a way to get to the quarterback. Got to turn pressures into production. Got to stop getting quarterback hits and letting the guy get out of there and throw the ball out of bounds. You got to get the quarterback's ass on the ground, giggity. But my point being, you need to take advantage of quarterbacks who are young, who may not be as polished. You got to get after those dudes. And honestly, you just need to have your better situations for yourself. I think Bo Davis being the new defensive line coach, Brandon Staley being the new defensive coordinator, in terms of just the scheme alone and the coaching staff alone, the defense will be more modernized, and that alone will help the defensive line. They'll be in more position to succeed. I just need to see them do it. It's easy to talk about and say, here's why they'll do it. Here, it can happen, so go and do it. But the run defense also is bad. Like the trenches need to be much better in the run defense too. One of the worst run defenses in the National Football League last year. It was an absolute joke. Yeah, if you wanted to beat the Saints, all you had to do was run the football a few times, and it was an absolute joke. Because eventually the Saints they kept bending, but they wouldn't break, but eventually they would give in and finally make some mistakes, i.e. the Eagles game against Dallas Goedert and against Saquon Barkley and all that good stuff. So really quick, I just want to say shout out to the big fellas. As a former offensive lineman myself and a former edge rusher myself, I want to say shout out to the big guys who hold it down in the trenches, the hogs as I like to call them. So type trenches in the comment section if you want this unit to be absolutely amazing. Turn the weakness into a strength, and let's make this team absolutely dangerous in the trenches. Burning question number 5, is the plan for rebuilding this team sustainable? And that's a question that's honestly a little bit of a weighted question. We won't know until we see what that plan is. Right now, the plan should be to focus on building in the draft, focus on shedding those contracts that are way too expensive, that aren't getting the production that justifies the money. And on top of that, you need to build and create a culture. You need to have a transparent philosophy that is shared between the coaching staff, the players, and the front office. And my advice is just look at the top teams in the NFL. I mean, I understand that the 49ers last year weren't great, but the recipe has been quarterbacks on cheap deals, invest around them, pay your quarterback eventually if he proves to be the guy, and you keep moving. Build within the draft. Go and start hitting on those picks. Too many picks in the top 150 we've missed on in the last few years. You need to start looking at the top teams in the National Football League. The Eagles and the Chiefs are prime examples of what you should be doing. And honestly, it's a perfect situation because you were just with the Eagles and Kellen Moore, and he saw it. He got to live it. He got to experience it at the highest of levels. So just replicate that in New Orleans. That's all I'm asking. Follow the successful models. Don't deviate way too far away because you think you're smarter than the rest of the league. You're not. The salary cap, kicking the can down the road thing, sure, that's great. That's fun and all. But it doesn't make any sense to do that when you're winning 5 games. If you're winning 15, sure, fuck it. Why not? Who cares about the money? But you're not. You won 5 games last year. Follow the successful model. It's not rocket science. Just do what all the other teams have been doing to win. It's really not hard building the roster. And I'm making it sound a lot easier than it is. But look, just nail the draft picks and be smart spenders. You do that, everything else starts falling into place. I believe this coaching staff is built for sustained success because I'm going to be honest, it's not like Brandon Staley's going to have guys knocking on the door, begging him to come and be the next head coach of their football team. And honestly, I feel like a defensive coordinator position is a good spot for him. It's an upgrade from where it was last year when he was a senior defensive assistant, I believe, for the 49ers. I think that's a good young coaching staff with Brandon Staley and Kellen Moore. You also have Doug Nussmeier as the offensive coordinator as well. Scott Tolzien at the quarterback coach. Phil Galliano, I believe is his name, for the special teams coordinator. Like, this is a coaching staff that I don't think is going to get guys poached away anytime soon. So you have right now the foundation, or not you have, you're creating the foundation to have sustained success. It's just a matter of, is the plan we have sustainable? Can it actually work? That's a big burning question the Saints need to answer this year. So just as a recap, 5 burning questions for New Orleans this season. Can Tyler Shough take over the Saints offense and be the guy? Was Kellen Moore a good hire? And can they build something for sustainable success for the future? Is Olave a true wide receiver 1, and can he stay healthy? Can the Saints win in the trenches? It's been bad on the offense and defensive line. I need to see them start playing better. And like I said, this last one, is the plan sustainable? Can they go and not just have one off year of success, go have multiple years of quality football where you're competing at the highest level to go and hoist a Lombardi trophy? If you're excited for real football, get down in the comment section, drop a like on today's video. And if you haven't already, Saints fans, if you're still watching this video, we're clearly doing something right. So be sure to subscribe to Saints Now by Chat Sports. Like I said earlier, we're chipping away on the road to 50K. And every subscriber helps, so don't feel like your sub isn't worth it. Who Dat Nation, y'all stay golden. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time.